Oh. Today we're going to be building the tl50 from Battlefront 2. Yay! Dun, 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 dun. Whoop. Yay! Okay, now we can go ahead and start getting this guy together. So, the nice thing about this kit is it has retaining pins that help line everything up, but the tolerances are really tight on all these things, so you may need to sand those pins down just a little bit to make sure they fit. They're more for lining up than for structure anyway, so it's not that big of a deal. So I'm going to go ahead and start with my barrel here, and I'm going to use my handy dandy Gorilla Glue and give it a good shake. Remember to always shake your glue good. Remember, it doesn't take much of the glue. Then I'm going to use that pin to line it up and get it where I want. Then I'm going to use my handy dandy little mallet and just tap it into place. There we go. So we can keep going with this by using those same pin ideas. You see I got another pin hole. Give it a little bit of glue. Da, 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 da. Now this one, we're gonna have some parts underneath, but do I want to do those now? No, I can do those after. Then I'm going to use that pin to line it up. Make sure it's straight. Give it some tappy tap tap. There we go. And then this bottom part is going to kind of help hold everything together a little bit better. So basically, you have two rods, a middle section, and an end section. So I'm going to go ahead and slide those rods through. And this big part's going to be facing up. It's basically going to go right into those slots there, glue up through there, and then this part is going to snap them into the top. So before I do all that, I'm going to put some glue down here for those rods. And I'm also going to put some glue on the top of this part to glue it to the bottom of the front assembly. So I'm going to put those rods in there. And then do that. Put some glue here and underneath where it's going to attach. And basically just got to line everything up a little bit. And I need a third hand here. Put those in. And then that just snaps right in there. And that goes about a third of the way up. hold this for a second while that glue sets. And there is the front of our masterpiece. Just making sure everything is still lined up. Uh-oh, my glue wasn't set. Let that set just a second. Let me add some more glue. That didn't quite set the way I wanted it to. Oops. Go. Oh, where's my quick set? This is just Insta-Set, helps super glue dry a little quicker. There we go. So that's the front part. Go ahead and go on to the back part here a little bit. We have the buttstock and then the back of the receiver. Again, we've got our alignment pins. Now when you're doing this, make sure the little hole is on the bottom. So when you're lining this up, make sure that hole is on the bottom. That way you'll know you have the right side. Get those guys lined up. Tappity tap. Now another cool trick you can do to really make things strong is zip kicker really melts the super glue. So sometimes I'll put just a little bit in a seam and then hit with the zip kicker. And that really fuses it. And I'm going to have to prime and paint this anyways, so it's not that big of a deal. But that'll really, really fuse those pieces. There we go. That ain't never coming apart now. So we have the kind of the front and the back. Now we can start working on some of the little parts of these. So I'm going to bring the front part back. And we have these little shield things. These go right on the two tabs here with the flap facing down. And again, it has the retaining pins. And again, sometimes these pins are really tight. I'm actually gonna sand this one down a little bit more. I just use a little Dremel with the sand wheel. So I'm just gonna knock this on here. See which one fits better. I'll use this one, see if I can give her a little persuasion. Going in a little bit of an angle on me. Spin this around here. There it goes. Oop. There it went. There we go. A little bit of persuading. And then get the other guy on. Come on, get on there. Do a little sanding on this side. Like I said, these tolerances are pretty tight, so just trying to figure out an angle to get some leverage on this guy. Sand it down a little bit more. There we go. This one I'm going to have to add a little glue to. Get that a minute to set. Okay, a little hiccup there. I ran out of space on my hard drive. So we're back. Now we still have our front section done. We have our rear section going. So now we can go ahead and attach our handle. Got a cool little square peg for the handle. Slides right in there. I'm going to add a little bit of glue in here. Put that square in there. And that's just going to slide right in. Like that. So now we have our handle. Now for the scope, we have 4 parts. We have the scope itself. We have the back bracket for it. It's just going to go on like that. And then we have the 2 adjustment screws. So I'm going to go ahead and put a little glue in here. And pop that back bracket on. Now you want it to be opposite of where the adjustment screws are going to go. I'm just going to kind of line that up. It goes on like that. And then the 2 adjustment screws just go on the little pegs right here. Add some glue. Add some glue. And those just pop on right like that, so you have your adjustment screws. Now this is actually going to go into the hole up here on top. Like so. So I'm going to go ahead and put some glue on here. And that goes right on like that. And then you put your peg in the hole here. Now my dog ran away with my peg. Your kit will come with one, but we can still kind of line this all up. It all lines up pretty well. And that all goes together just like that. And super glue on the fingers. Let that set for a second. And there we go. Da, da, da. Now, remember when I said that little hole in the bottom for the buttstock? You can put on, there's a little sling. But for most of mine, if I ever do want to put a sling on mine, and I do for my Death Trooper, I use a sling for my E11D. I actually use these. Let's see if I have them still. And I'm out of them. But I just go to a sporting goods store and actually get the real ones. Just heat up the screw, screw it in. That way you get a mechanical and a liquid bond because it'll melt the plastic just a little bit. So I recommend using real swivels if you want to actually use a sling form. But at the end of the day, here we go. Pretty cool, huh? Yay!